Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Ohio University Lancaster.
Hello, this is Angela Kreil. I am obviously not John Bosser, and I'm filling in for John today. He's a little under the weather on Fairfield Today. Welcome. We are celebrating Fairfield DD's March Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, which is a national movement to make sure people are aware of the wonderful contributions that people with disabilities make in our communities every day. And so here in Fairfield County, we are very fortunate to have a terrific Developmental Disabilities Board that does amazing things like Art and Clay and Square 7, where we are filming today. I'm here today with my guest, Janie Heston, who is joining us from Fairfield DD to talk about a recent presentation to a community family that really brought a lot of people together in the community to get help for a family that needed it. So, Janie, can you tell us a little bit about what this presentation was?
We found out that we had a family that had a need. They have two young boys that have muscular dystrophy, and they did not have any transportation where the whole family could go somewhere together. I mean, the family as a group has never gone anywhere together. They had to go in shifts. They had two wheelchairs. So we found, I got a phone call from Rachel that works in our office spoke with somebody at Medill. It's just one of these snowball effects. She called me. She goes, "Aren't these children on your caseload?" I said, "Yes." We started looking for a van. And through another conversation that I had with some people down at Forest Road School, where my husband works, a lady found one, called me, said, "We have this I found this van. I don't know a whole lot about it." And I said, "Well, can you give me some more information?" She goes, "Give me a few minutes. I'll call my husband." So she made her husband truck back out in the snow and go get the stuff for this van. I called, looked at the van. Van was perfect, exactly what this family needed. But the family's resources are very limited. So I spoke with our superintendent to see what we could do as a agency, and due to the fact that it has a deed or has a title, it wasn't anything we could do. So I just started calling community members around that I knew. I called some places that I'd gotten some donations for other things for. And the next thing I know, probably, I started this quest on a Monday afternoon, and by Thursday afternoon I had all the money raised.
Oh my goodness.
To pay for the van. And then Medill, where one of the children goes to school, Michelle Kelly out there, she's the medical assistant, she got the PTO involved, and then they raised enough money on top of what we paid for the van to give them gas cards and food cards, and we've got Buckeye Honda donated stuff for a free oil changes for the year.
Wow.
We also got enough money to give them a gift certificate to Gary's Service Center, so that if something happens with the van in the next year, they've got some money to pay for repairs. We also pay for insurance for a year.
Wow.
So the clip that you're going to see is where we actually presented all the extra goodies to the family, and there are fifth graders there that were part of the celebration, and two of the little boys in fifth grade. And I have to tell this: when they found out what this was for, they gave their birthday money to this.
What a wonderful
money
testament.
That they gave got for their birthday, they gave for this, and they had a thing called Pop It Forward, and after. For the donations, then all the kids got to have popcorn. So it was a win-win for everybody, because kids got popcorn and the family got a van.
Awesome.
So there.
What a wonderful testament to our community and how people are willing to chip in and help families that are in need in our community. And so quickly, in just 3 days, you raised all of that money.
It was pretty amazing. The first call I made was to the First United Methodist Church, and I called, spoke with her, and that afternoon I had a pledge.
Awesome.
already.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to see some footage from this presentation, and so if you'll go now to, and who was this that was speaking at this event?
This is Michelle Kelly.
Michelle Kelly, and so she's a medical assistant at Medill.
And she's the one that got PTO and the school involved.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Again, I want to welcome everybody today and thank you very much for all the help that you folks have done for us, for our wonderful Medill family. Our kids want to thank you. It means a lot. I know to the Adams, to us, the Medill family. If it wasn't for you folks, this wouldn't have been possible. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Adams, there's a few other things that not only did we help you with the van, and a few other things, the kids and the other donations that have come in, we have oil changes from Buckeye Honda for a year. There's $1,500 gift certificate to Gary's Service Center for any incidental repairs that need to be done on the van. We have been able to purchase $500 of gas cards to help offset the cost of what it costs to fill this van up. We know that it does take a lot more. But there is also a few other things for you and the kids. We know that you don't get to go out to dinner very often. Now we hope you can. There's some gift cards to Olive Garden, because I know somebody likes pasta. We have some gift cards to Wendy's for the times that you make the trips to Children's. You can stop at Wendy's and get the kids something to eat. And a few other roosters and a few other cards for you folks to utilize for your trips back and forth to Children's Hospital. So, from the bottom of our heart, thank you for allowing us to help you. Thank you again, folks.
I'm going to step in here real quick.
Yes, please.
I want to thank Michelle, because this all started with a phone call. I got a phone call telling me that the family needed a van. I called, Michelle called, said, family needs a van. I get a call from Rachel, who says, family needs a van. Janie, what can we do? So I want to thank everybody that I called that have showed up and that stepped forward to help this family, because now these guys can go as families, to places that they couldn't go before. Now their kids can ride in the back seat, and there's a third child somewhere. Where is she?
This is Brianna.
There she is. There's a third child gets to ride in the back seat with her brothers, and she can get away from them if they want to fight with her. So anyhow, thanks everybody again, and guys, enjoy your van and your goodies. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't even know who all who helped with this, but I really hope that you know how much it means. Thank you.
We're back at Fairfield today. Thank you for joining us. And we are with Janie Heston from Fairfield DD. And Janie, I understand that you have spoken with the family that received this van. Can you tell us a little bit about how this van has impacted their life?
From my conversation with Mom and Dad, it has changed their lives greatly. They can go places together and as a family. And just yesterday, they went to Children's Hospital. They had a appointment up there for the boys. And when they went, they could take both of their wheelchairs, both of their children. They could drive up themselves, didn't have to use public transportation. And it was just a wonderful experience. Plus, they ended up, there's another little girl that is in the hospital that's in one of the little boys' classes, and they actually got to go and visit her.
Oh, wonderful.
So that was a big deal that, Isaac got to go visit his friend.
Yes.
So it was very nice, and Dad still expresses his gratitude and appreciation for what everybody has done for him. And Mom just says, you don't have we can go to the grocery store together.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do that before. They had to do things in shifts, so it's really impacted their lives.
I can't imagine just having 2 small boys myself and trying to get around with them and get them all corralled and get them into the car, and then to add a wheelchair onto that for each of them and not be able to do it in my own vehicle would be such a challenge. So now this family gets to do that together, and
they have a sister. There's another little girl.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
yeah, there's
so
another little girl.
them.
So there's 3 children, and she was one of the children that helped write the big poster that they had at the school and everything, and she likes it because she now has a seat of her own. She doesn't have to fight with her brothers in the back seat. So
I don't blame her. I would want my own seat too.
So she now has her own seat. So,
that's terrific.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, and we should congratulate you because later this month, March, is the celebration of possibilities. And at that event, you will be receiving the McGee Family Inspiration Award for all of your work on this.
Yes,
what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It really does. It means a lot. It means that, I have a passion for what I do. I wouldn't do it if I didn't, and I have a passion for what I do, and I love working with my kids and my families, and it means a lot that it was noticed and that people saw that, I was really out there doing something.
Right. So, and you don't do it for the accolades, but it certainly is nice to be thanked, isn't it?
Yes, it is very nice to be thanked. Very nice to be thanked.
Well,
yes.
Congratulations. Very much well deserved.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here to share this story with us. I hope it's inspired everyone at home as much as it's inspired us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Angela Cryle back with Fairfield Today, and we are celebrating the National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in March, and so we are here today to talk to Superintendent of our Fairfield Developmental Disabilities Board, John Picard. John, welcome.
Thanks, Angela.
You're welcome.
And thank you for stepping in and guest hosting for us.
Oh,
today.
you're welcome. It's a first for me. So
doing a great job so far.
Thank you very much. So, John, tell us a little bit about what the Celebration Month or March is all about for Fairfield DD.
Well, it's really what we do in March for Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month is really a sort of a jam-packed slate of things we do all year long, but really compress a lot of things into one month, and it's really to make people in the community and really ourselves and everyone who's a stakeholder in our program aware of some of the wonderful things that are available and for people with developmental disabilities, and probably more importantly, the contributions of people with the developmental disabilities in our community. We like to talk about we talk a lot about personal genius, and that every one of us has their own personal genius, and some of us are struggling to find it, some of us have found it. But our job is to really explore with each of the roughly 1,200 individuals that we support. What's your personal genius? What are you passionate about? What are you, what are you good at? What do you love? And that's what we kind of try to pull out and exploit, honestly, on behalf of the individual. And when you take that individual approach and you use what we call discovery to sort of find that, magical things sometimes happen.
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, it's not unlike most people. Everyone struggles to find what is that passion in your life. What's that thing that makes you get up in the morning, and for you all to be helping people who might struggle a little bit more with that, to find those things in their life is commendable, very commendable.
Yeah, I like to think my own personal genius that I've been working on for years and years and years, thinking it's my personal genius, is golf. I probably have to give that up as an idea that I have any kind of personal genius, whatever, in golf. But again, it's people. When people have the opportunity to explore and people have the opportunity to become connected with the community, not just in the community, but of the community, that's where things really happen. You look back when you're still young, but when I was young, most of us, when we get our first job in the community or we get our first connections, it's because of those community connections we have. Mom or dad or uncle or friend or somebody had a connection with somebody that said, "Hey, could you give so and so a shot because they seem to have a passion or a liking for this." And that's kind of where you get your first job and your first connection. It's no different in our situation as well. We take great pains to try to make great community connections that will hold, not just from a volunteer point of view, or not just from somebody doing something for somebody, but people who want to make true community connections. And again, that's where the magic happens.
The magic happens. I like that. Well, so tell us what we'll be seeing here in March from the board, and the things that will be happening during this month.
Well, we have a lot of activities going, and I'd like to think that we're kind of trying to develop March into a DD awareness festival, as it were, where there's a lot of different things going on that culminate in our celebration of possibilities at the end of the month.
Sure.
We have a number of meetings scheduled, for example, in schools, in elementary schools, junior highs, where we talk to students at those schools about their classmates and people with developmental disabilities, and to essentially keep on the campaign to stop using the R word. That it's as hurtful as any other word for any other group of people that's a slur, and the R word is a slur, and we're on a constant mission to move away from that. So a lot of what we do is, I think there are at least 3 things scheduled in different school districts during the course of the month. We're very fortunate to have a wonderful resolution from the commissioners that they presented to us early in the month that was basically recognizing in Fairfield County Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And if anybody has a chance to go on our Facebook page and take a look at that, we actually have a copy of that up on the Facebook page. There is some wonderful language in there that the commissioners passed, and the commissioners talk about personal genius in the resolution.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I've got to tell you that a lot of peers of mine, superintendents at other county boards of DD, kind of look at us and look at me with some jealousy. It's like, how do you have this kind of community support? And the thing is that you don't really, it's hard to say, you don't really, you have to work at building community support, but you do it by sharing stories. And you do it by talking about people. You don't do it by talking about the program.
No, it's not a bunch of statistics. It's about individuals and their success.
And it's about their story. It's not only about their success, but their challenges.
Oh, sure.
Because let me give you an example of one of our award winners, who's the recipient of going to be the recipient of the Personal Achievement Award. He was in one of the first classes that we had with Project Search at Fairfield Medical Center, which very briefly is a full-year program for students with developmental disabilities who are in their last year of high school, and they're embedded at Fairfield Medical Center. They do some classroom work there in terms of soft skills and employment, and then they do an internship in different departments. He graduated from that, got a job at Diley Ridge Medical Center. It was phenomenal there, but like most of us, he got a little bit restless. He thought, is there something more that I could do?
Sure.
And so he got another full-time job at another location, and quite honestly, right now, he's struggling with that job. The reason he's struggling is because he is so committed to high quality. At Diley Ridge, his job was, make sure it's absolutely right. It has to be exactly this way.
Right.
Where he's at now, it's like, you have this much time to do it. And we're more concerned about, not that we're not concerned about the quality, but there's a greater emphasis on the time piece.
Sure.
Where he's at now, and he's struggling with that.
Sure.
And a lot of people think, we pushed him too far. Well, we've all experienced that.
We've all had. Every one of us has had a job where we're like, "Oh, did I do the right thing? Is this the right place for me?"
Yeah.
We all struggle with that.
And it's either it's going to work out for him, and he's going to resolve this with, and we will assist him through that. It's not like he's been plunked into this situation by himself and sink or swim. But it may not be the job that he wanted, even though he thought maybe this is where the next step I wanted to go to.
Sure.
That's not a failure. That's not a lack of success. That is tremendous growth, and his family recognizes. His family is behind this, knowing that he's struggling right now. So a lot of people think we give a personal achievement award because we have these miraculous fireworks going off. I think this is as much of a success story because we have somebody who was successful, who moved into a job, he graduated greatly from a program and participated very well in that, went to a job, was loved at that new job, but wanted to grow more. And now he's maybe struggling a little bit for the first time in that, but it's going to work out for him.
Yes, it will.
And however it works out, it's going to work out. So that's personal achievement because he didn't want to just stay safe.
Right.
And
right.
to me, that's greater than saying,
anyone who's taken a new job, it's always a risk. And I think that's one of the things that are in our community that the board does, the Fairfield DD board does so well, is that you all try to help people understand that we are all the same. We all have different challenges, we all have different struggles, we all have different genius, but we're all the same. And so to help people see those stories and see themselves in people who otherwise they would categorize in some way.
Right.
And that's not what this is about. This is about we're all in this together, and we're all here together. And I think that that's really why we have such a supportive community, because we can see each other, see ourselves in each other in a way that other communities may not have that opportunity because of the work that the Fairfield DD board has done.
Well, and again, having been here 16 years now, and I know for a lot of people in the community, I'm still a newbie. I haven't been here 16 years, but
right.
But I can tell you, I'm entering my 43rd year of working in this field, and this community, more than any other that I've ever experienced, is. I don't want to say it makes it easy, but it's like sometimes you just look and go, wow, that was something I didn't experience there. I mean, I can remember back in the 80s when we were attempting just to establish small group home situations for individuals with developmental disabilities that in a couple of those cases when we were going before zoning boards, I had to be escorted out by the police department to my car.
Wow.
So that the people who were angry at us wouldn't do something.
Wow.
And then to move to obviously all communities have grown since then, but this community has just been. I always used to for the longest period of time before my family moved to Central Ohio, I always used to say I live in Columbus or I live in Lancaster, but Akron is home. Having been here now, and it's like Akron's where I'm from, Lancaster's home.
Lancaster's home.
Because of that, it's hard to describe it, but it's just something special here.
Well, tell us about. So we're going to be kind of culminating the month in this wonderful celebration of possibilities that I've been able to be a part of as well for the last couple of years. Tell us what we're going to see at the celebration, because it's going to be streamed live here on LSN, or rebroadcast on LSN, streamed live online, and live on Twitter and Instagram, correct?
Yeah, I think whatever those things that people do,
the magic of social media.
The tweety things, they're going to be live tweeting and, I guess live Instagram picture posting and
wonderful.
Whatever else there is too, Facebook, I guess. And
well, what are we going to see?
Well, and first of all, thank you for always supporting that and being part of that.
It's a wonderful night. I get as much out of it as I give, so for sure.
By the way, she's a stage manager sometimes in the background.
My little headset.
And with her little headset.
Yep.
She has this nasty look on her face like, no.
Right, get back here. Don't say
Don't
that. Right. Usually directed at you, John.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, stop.
Right.
But it's our 7th annual celebration of possibilities, and we're back at the Crossroads Center after a year away, going to Bloom Carroll Middle School auditorium.
Yes.
We're happy to be back at Crossroads. We'll have a dinner again. It'll be catered by Table One, so we're really happy to have JM Matos on board.
A local partner.
And that's going to be, I think, a great meal. Our special guest is Kathy Buckley, who is a comedian, motivational speaker, and she just happens to be deaf.
Awesome.
So it should be great. We also have Bad Influence is our house band. Bob Competti and crew is our house band this year, and we're real excited about that. And a person who is actually performs a couple nights a month, a couple Fridays a month here at Square 7 Coffee House. Kelly Vaughn, singer, songwriter, will be performing with us as well. And we're real excited to have her because she's just an extraordinary performer.
Great.
And we have a special, we started a couple years ago. Unfortunately, it probably was something we maybe shouldn't have, but a sort of a special surprise musical number at the end.
Oh, fun.
Which I'll just leave at that. And there will be a surprise number at the end as well.
Okay,
So
great. So stick around till the end.
Stick around till the end.
Yes.
Don't leave after Kathy is done, because we have another, 5 minutes or so afterwards, which should be worth the time.
Worth the wait?
Yep.
Great. Well, one of the things I think a lot of people in our community don't understand is that we're really used here in Fairfield County as sort of a model program for other communities. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, it's really surprising to me that we sort of just developed sort of quietly and tried to do the things that are right for Fairfield County, and things have worked out well. I mean, Art and Clay on Main, Square 7 Coffee House, Discover You at River Valley Mall, the project search model at Fairfield Medical Center, an adult project search model at the DSW Shoe Warehouse Distribution Center. All those things are very positive things, and probably in the last 2 years we've had at least 25 different either counties or provider groups come to visit us to see what we do and how we do it.
Yeah.
And an interesting thing is we can tell them how we did it, but it may not translate to their community.
Right.
Because I have to go back to a lot of it is what we have in terms of resource and support here that they may or may not have.
Right.
But we are certainly one of those counties, fortunately or not, that people look to say, in terms of employment services, especially. What are they doing there? There's something special going on there.
Yeah, there really is.
There was actually one county board that a group of staff came to visit us, and they sent me an email later and saying thank you. And during our visit, we recognized what the difference was between us and you. They said when we get an idea, we analyze it to death. We try to make sure it works perfectly. We take a look at it for so long that we lose the passion that we had at the beginning for the idea.
Sure.
And it kind of starts falling apart because we try to make it perfect. What you guys do is you get an idea, you put the framework around it, and you kind of run with it.
Right.
And you get it mostly right, but you're not afraid to make mistakes. You never make the same mistake twice, and you adjust it as you go along. And,
right.
and they thought that was the key to our success.
I think that's very, very likely.
So it's very nice to hear some of those things, because sometimes you wonder,
right? Sure.
What is it that we're doing that's successful? I mean, I like to think, yes, we had that all planned out. Art and Clay on Main was our finest ready, fire, aim moments.
Which I think has turned out very well.
Which has turned out very well, yeah. Exactly.
Well, please enjoy the month, enjoy the attention that the board is getting for a very good reason. And then all of you out there, please make sure to come back and check out the rebroadcast of the Celebration of Possibilities on LSN Channel 9, and check it out as it's streamed live as well. Thank you for joining us today on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Ohio University Lancaster.